Of course, both Mr. Loy and Mr. Kirkland will be happy to answer your questions. So just raise your hand so that we may be able to recognize you. Questions from the floor? Yes, ma'am?
Good morning. I am Blessed from Business Mirror, and my question is directed to Sir Peter. And I would like to ask your outlook for vertical mobility demand in the country, in the Philippines, especially in Metro Manila, like for this year, for the past 5 years, for the next 5 years.
Definitely Metro Manila is still growing, but the growth is more faster outside of Metro Manila. But what's interesting, it's different segments where the growth is. Like currently the residential segment has a little bit or quite a lot oversupply in Metro Manila. There's a lot of new developments and there's unsold apartments. But retail, hotel, hospitality, hospitals, medical segment, they are all growing. And in long term, if we talk 5 years, definitely residential is going to increase a lot also. But the growth is, how we see it, even more outside of Metro Manila, but there's definitely big growth in Metro Manila.
I know you provided figures earlier, but I would still like to ask specifically, how many new clients or projects has your company secured or is bidding for in the Philippines for this year?
Well, I can't disclose like all that kind of financial information, but we are quite happy with our results, and we have a lot of happy customers, so we keep on growing, like I mentioned, and we see the growth even faster going forward.
Can you give even an estimate, sir? Hundreds or thousands?
Projects or number of units?
Both.
Well, it's hundreds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just add
Yes.
to what Patrick said. I think if you're talking about, I think your question is mainly on Metro Manila. Is that correct? I think Metro Manila, like what Patrick mentioned, the growth will continue to be there, but because of the growth when we look at is not just the new buildings, new projects, but also the modernization, because those two areas are growing. So new projects are growing in the selected segments. So if we look at Southeast Asia, including Manila, is the growth on the residential, for example. There is in residential itself, there are many sub-segments of residential. There is a high-end, there is a mid-range, there is a sort of a low to mid-range. So I think which part of the sub-segment is growing, we need to be very well aware of, which we are. Our team here is following up very closely. Right? And the second part is also the other segments, the medical segments. I think here in Manila is still one of the government push in terms of promoting healthcare. The other side of the growth is, Patrick talked about, is the modernization. If I drive around, I mean, I come here at least every quarter, so 4 times a year to Manila, you do see a lot of aging buildings. And Manila is one of the cities in Southeast Asia has been, the building boom has started many years ago. So we're talking about 50, 60 years ago. And a lot of these buildings either have been modernized or upgraded once or twice, and now they're looking for sustainable solutions. So that's where the growth will come from in Metro Manila.
Sir.
Yes, follow.
I think this may be a far-fetched question, but I would like to ask, how far, I mean, can the Philippines achieve being a smart city for next year, for the next 5 years? Is it achievable, sir, in your opinion?
If you want to answer that first.
Well, there's a lot of initiatives. I've talked a lot with architect Chu Palafox, for example. He has very positive outlook. It's a little bit different in different places. Like, but there's intent is there. There's initiatives are there. It's just how fast things move, which we don't know, but we want to support that. as much as we can, because the smart city initiatives are good for the people, it's good for the country. And I believe there's good initiatives for that.
Mr. Lloyd, would you like to comment?
Yeah, no, I think it's a very interesting question. I think this is where every city in, at least as far as I know, in Southeast Asia is trying to move towards a smart city country or smart city goal. Yeah, where we see the success, the cities which have achieved certain level of success, the collaboration among between the private and the public sectors are very important. So the architects, the developers, the urban planners of the country, or the city rather, and also the, let's say, the ecosystem players like us, we need to be part of this planning. And for example, one of the projects here, Patrick showed about achieving green mark or platinum certification. Those requires much earlier planning before even putting the blueprint together. Is the architect needs to say, okay, this is what we're going to do with this building, but the surrounding of that building, be it the water, be it how they use the energy, how they utilize the water conservation, and all that have to be part of that whole planning. And that planning comes with working with the public sectors as well, the government, or the city planning, the urban planning. So I see that in Philippines, like he said, Patrick said, the intent is there, the goal is there, the collaboration is there. Now is the sort of execution time, right? So it is part of the execution where most of the cities face challenges because it requires investment, from both sides. And this is where I believe that Philippines will continue to move on that track and to be competitive. Every cities have to move towards that, and especially for the people as well. I think there is a commitment for private and public sectors to work together to improve the lives of the people. Being a smart nation, because it's not just about smart; it's also about commitment to our pledge to saving the earth, because that is part of the whole initiative.
All right, more questions from the floor, sir?
Hi, I'm Junji Kiambao from newsbites.ph. I'd just like to ask with regards to the whole program for the training, what's the student capacity that KONE Academy has, and how long is the program? And what's next for KONE Philippines? Thank you.
Well, we have currently one apprenticeship program happening, so we have fresh graduates, and then that program is 6 months to 1 year. But mainly this facility is to upskilling our existing headcount, and of course all newcomers want, and it's also to help our subcontractors to do good quality work and safe work. So the numbers we mentioned there, we can do up to 600 headcounts per year, and that's what we are aiming to do. It basically means it needs to be busy every day, which we want it to be, because what's the point to invest to this nice facility if you don't use it? And you can do maybe 2 trainings concurrently. We have 3 full-size shafts there. We have the escalator, then we have our technical room there, and we have so we aim to use it minimum 5 days a week, if not sometimes 6 days a week.
Yeah, I'll add on to that is the training. This KONE Academy is just not for, it's for training, primarily upgrading. But later on, we will share with you, we'll show you around the showroom as well with the innovative solutions. I think that's also very important to, part of the question asked just now about Smart Nation, is also to showcase our innovative solutions towards sustainability. So we do have a lot of new innovative solutions, and we will continue to upgrade this KONE Academy with the latest technology, with the latest innovations. And one of the important part of this KONE Academy, besides upgrading our people, is also working with the government authorities in terms of sharing with them our new technology. And this is a 7th academy in Southeast Asia. We have 6 countries, we have 7, because In Vietnam, we have two locations where we have academies, one in the south in Ho Chi Minh and one in the north. As you know, between Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, traveling is 2 hours flight. I'll go from Singapore to Ho Chi Minh is even closer from Ho Chi Minh to Hanoi. So that's why we have these two locations in Vietnam. So this is a seventh investment we have, and we are very, we put a lot of emphasis on upgrading our people, because at the end of the day, it's about safety, it's about quality, and this is where we're going to train our people. But the government authorities, we also have been doing that collaboration with the government authorities who are involved in elevator and escalator certification. So if any new technologies, any new skills, or if they have new people who are just joined the government authorities in this sector, we will also work with them to upgrade or share with them what elevator and escalator is all about. Yeah.
All right, so I guess we can still have one more question.
Sir, I just want to ask, you're based on your Gongshan plant in China. You use big data modeling to push the preemptive offers you mentioned earlier. So I just want to ask, how does the company plan to train or upskill your Philippine-based maintenance contractors to interpret and act on this data, given the fragmented and often outsourced nature of building facility management in the country? Thank you.
Well, all our service technicians are in-house KONE service technicians. So we don't outsource our service maintenance. So they are all fully skilled of interpreting the data, doing the mechanical, electrical, software adjustments. And we do train facility management to do the immediate rescue in case of entrapment, but the service, the core service, which is biggest part of our business, is to service the customers after the units are handed over. That is all done by our own technicians, and they are all going to be trained here, previously in different places, but we train them basically here.
Yeah, and I mentioned modernization. Maybe I'll add on to one more point. In our escalator elevator businesses, there are three business lines, distinct business lines. One is a new project, right? This is a project that's haven't started. This is what we call new business solutions. The first business line. After the building is up, they are handed over to the service and maintenance team. And the service maintenance team will continue to service, protect the assets, make sure that assets in good quality, safe conditions to be used. Over 15 years to 20 years, then it's time for upgrade. So that comes the third business line, which is modernization. Today, if you look at Southeast Asia and also globally, that the service, the new business, the new projects, they are still growth, but very selected growth now. Not like the building boom back then. I remember after the Asian financial crisis, 1997, 98, then the governments, majority of the governments like Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, including a little bit of the Philippines that time, the reserve banks were trying to shore up their reserves for 3 to 5 years. Then they had to create employment. So the reserve banks from Asian financial crisis, 97, 98 to 2003, they were all shoring up their reserves, so to rebuild their countries. And from 2003, if you notice that majority of the Southeast Asian countries started the building boom. And that building boom continues. So therefore, for us is modernization I talk about, but most importantly is also the service. So the two business lines that is showing double-digit growth today is the service and our modernization business. That's showing the double-digit growth. Because, like you said, it's all about data-driven now. It's about service, how we can use digitalization to make it, to predict any issues or problems. Today is all about software. That's why our upgrading here, Patrick mentioned before, besides the mechanical skills, the electrical skills, it's also about the software skills. Today, if you drive a BMW or drive even the Japanese cars today, you go into the maintenance workshop, what they do is they just plug and play. right? It's all about upgrading their software. Even my iPhones get upgraded every time. You know, if I don't upgrade it, I can't use it. I'm using iOS, right? You see the updates of the software. So this is very similar to the industry where everyone is using the software. And that's where, when you mention about service, it is all about upgrading our people in terms of using the data, how to use the data to improve our service. Even for our service today, we are no longer doing the maintenance in the past. The maintenance in the past is that, okay, there's a checklist, the technicians go into the lift and do the maintenance. Check, 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 check. It's no longer that kind of standard checklist. We are using customized, we call it dynamic maintenance planning, where every lift is customized to what the history of the lifts is, in terms of the equipment specifications, the traffic. Let's say it's a lift. There are 4 lifts in the lobby, and 1 lift is hardly used. We're not going to use the same maintenance module to do the maintenance work. So there's a lot of understanding of equipment. Our people will be trained how to customize their work as well. So I hope that's a long way of answering your question as well.
All right, so we can only accommodate one question because our guests are already here. But don't worry, because we do have one-on-ones later with our speakers. And that is why we can accommodate just one. Oh.
Yes. From Tech Travel Monitor. You mentioned about modernization and collaboration with the government. Right now, does KONE have any plans on participating on modernizing the lift or escalators at LRT or MRT stations, which have a big or a huge impact on providing public service to the people?
Yeah, we are interested also to participate into some selected infrastructure projects. So airports are definitely something where globally we have done a lot and we have super good solutions. MRT lines, yeah, we are interested in those also.
Yeah, no, Francis, it's a very important question as well. We are definitely going to be part of the let's say, the tenders of the infrastructure. We have many great successes globally in terms of airports. If you travel to Suvarnabhumi Airport, you will see that all the equipment, also KONE in terms of the elevators. Then you go to Singapore, all the majority of the lines, the newest one is the Thomson East Coast line. If you have been there recently, that's also KONE. So there's a Cross Island line. There is a Jurong Regional line, and which is coming up. So we are participating in a lot of infrastructure. Even in Bangkok, we are also doing that. In the new airport in Vietnam, Long Tan, which is going to be the main airport, they are building it up now. We are also participating. We are actually part of the project. So in the Philippines, I would say the answer is yes. We are very keen, and we want to leverage our experience and expertise around global and also Southeast Asia to be here to be able to provide that kind of safety, because in terms of public use, safety is the most important thing. This is why when we participated, we want to have the right workforce to be trained. And that's one of the reasons we have this academy as well.
All right, so that ends our Q&A. Again,